You know how you know the Indiana Fever had a good offseason? When even Sheryl Swoopes praises it. We've got a Sheryl Swoopes switch up.
Sheryl Swoopes just did a complete 180 on Caitlin Clark, and it happened on live television after spending an entire year claiming Clark was overrated, overhyped, and wouldn't succeed in the WNBA. Swoopes is now praising the Indiana Fever phenom and her team.
Either you get on the bandwagon or you get left behind. Being a hater of Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever in Clark's rookie season, even insinuating that players would flee the team because of the attention around the team.
The basketball world is in shock. Nancy Lieberman ended her friendship with Swoopes over these attacks. Cheryl Miller called her a big dummy on a podcast, yet now as if none of it ever happened. Swoopes is acting like Clark's biggest fan. The receipts. Don't lie, and I've got all of them right here. Are you ready to break it all down and hear what Swoopes said? Let's go.
All of our surprises was somebody who's done nothing since 2023 but speak idiotically and speak like a delusional human being. The liar of them all. The king lie. The biggest projectionist of them all. I'm just going to make up things. Sheryl Swoopes.
Remember when Sheryl Swoopes claimed Caitlin Clark was a 25-year-old playing against teenagers? That wasn't just a casual slip-up. It was the beginning of what would become a year-long campaign of misinformation. Let's pull out the receipts on Swoopes's bizarre vendetta against women's basketball's brightest star.
Let's also talk about how much more experience that gives you over other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like he or she's killing them, but you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old.
The timeline of Swoopes' attacks is both consistent and consistently wrong. During Clark's record-breaking college career, Swoopes launched her first major salvo by questioning the legitimacy of Clark's NCAA scoring achievement on Gil's Arena. She boldly declared if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years.
Bring back Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
This statement ignored a basic fact: Clark did break the record in 4 years, exactly the same time frame as Plum Swoopes insinuated Clark had unfairly benefited from COVID-19 rules, allowing a 5th year a year Clark never actually took what makes. These comments so problematic isn't just their inaccuracy, it's the absolute certainty with which Swoopes delivered them. She spoke with the confidence of someone stating the sky is blue, not someone spreading falsehoods that could be fact-checked. With a simple Google search when confronted with corrections, rather than acknowledging her mistakes, Swoopes dug her heels in deeper.
Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Here we go.
I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, she probably ain't gonna get 40 shots a game.
The attacks evolved as Clark's career progressed. When Clark prepared to enter the WNBA, Swoopes confidently predicted doom. Will Caitlin Clark be a good pro? Absolutely will. Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now immediately? Absolutely not. Not going to happen. Well, guess what did happen? Clark dominated her rookie season, leading the entire league in assists, broke 62 records and claiming Rookie of the Year honors.
Didn't say she wouldn't be good. What I said was I didn't think Caitlin or Angel would come into the league and dominate immediately, which I don't think either of them did.
Respectfully, there is absolutely no way, even when we're trying to sit here and play semantics about dominating, there's no way that anyone could ever leave this season in saying that both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese didn't dominate. You would have to further explain what dominance means for you to not sit here and say that a player who is leading the league in assists while averaging 19 to 20 points didn't dominate that season.
Even as Clark proved her wrong on the court, Swoopes shifted her criticisms to the rest of the team and the culture, and how apparently, in her words, the circus created by the Caitlin Clark fandom has created a toxic environment in the locker room.
People in the Fever were like, y'all.
That's not my point. there's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some
So
new shit
that-
some new
yeah, like
shit's
it's a
going
lot.
on around there.
It's a lot. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
wanna be here.
This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
By comparing Clark's actual age 22 at that time, actual statistics and actual achievements against Swoopes' fabricated narrative, a clear pattern emerges. This wasn't a respected analyst offering fair criticism. This was a calculated campaign to diminish one of women's basketball's biggest stars at every turn. The basketball world took notice. Nancy Lieberman, Stephen A. Smith, and ultimately Cheryl Miller would step forward to challenge Swoopes' assertions. These weren't just random commentators. These were respected voices in basketball standing up to say, enough is enough.
What it do, peeps? Sheryl Swoopes is been missing. Sheryl Swoopes is MIA. They got a APB out for Sheryl Swoopes. If you see Sheryl Swoopes, she did a lot of talking a few months ago about the Indiana Fever, the locker room environment, how people didn't want to play there, how people wanted to leave.
What makes a Hall of Famer like Nancy Lieberman and a 30-year-long friendship as Swoopes continued her campaign against Clark? The basketball community's patience wasn't just wearing thin, it was completely shattered.
Known Cheryl since she was in college. I helped do her shoe deal with Nike in 1993, took her to her first SBs. I've known Cheryl, I've coached her, have a lot of respect for her. I called her when Caitlin was still playing at Iowa and she had just broken Maravich's record. And it was all over the place, as you and I have discussed, that there was this quote by Cheryl that said, Caitlin was, 25 years old. She was, however old, 24 years old. She was a fifth-year senior. Right. She was taking 40 shots a game. Her records were illegitimate.
The breaking point came when Lieberman, one of the most respected voices in women's basketball, attempted to have a private conversation with her longtime friend Swoopes. I called her as a friend, Lieberman revealed, and I said, you can say whatever you want, but you do have to get the statistics right. Facts matter. This wasn't just a casual disagreement between colleagues. This was Lieberman trying to salvage both the truth and a friendship.
I got off the treadmill and I called her as a friend. And I said, you can say whatever you want. You can have your own opinion about anybody, but you do have to get the statistics right. I mean, facts matter. And if you just get ahead of this and just say, hey, I made a mistake on my numbers, then this thing is over and everybody respects you for your opinion. And, you might like Boston, I might like the Yankees. It's okay to have difference of opinions. Well, she got upset with me on the phone, and I was like, Cheryl, I'm not doing anything to hurt you. I'm just sharing. We're talking. And so our relationship, it pretty much is not happening at this point. I tried to talk to her at the Final Four. Right. She didn't want to talk to me. My life's going to be good or great with or without Sheryl Swoopes in my life. I'd rather have her in it.
Swoopes didn't take the criticism. Well, the relationship between these two basketball legends, according to Lieberman, is now pretty much done. They haven't spoken since that conversation, marking an extraordinary moment when defending Clark's achievements. Literally cost Lieberman a long-time friendship in basketball circles.